We continue our coverage of the best things to happen in 2022 in the world of Canadian mixed martial arts, and today we've got the list of the best promotions of the year in Canada. The of the year is really important here, as the best promotion of the year is not necessarily the best promotion in the country, even though it kind of is in that case. But I'm really trying to look at the promotions that had the strongest year 2022, independent of our general promotion power ranking in Canada. So here it is. I've got some honorable mentions for the promotions that were able to present shows, but on a smaller scale. So here they are. We've got Front Row Fight Club, Rumble in the Cage, Absolute MMA, Mamba Fight League, Havoc FC, and with only one MMA fight this year, New Era Fighting Promotions, which is mainly a boxing promotions, but hey, they're doing some MMA fights, so I gotta think about them a little. Well, let's move on to the list. It's not gonna be a top 10 today, it's gonna be a top 7, and at number 7 we've got POW FC Pallas Athena Women's Fighting Championship, a brand new women's only promotion that saw the day in Canada earlier this year. They were able to present 2 events, which is very important. We need some promotions that care about women's fighting and that want to develop women's fighter, and Pallas Athena really came in this year and delivered that. I'm really looking forward to what they're gonna do in the future. We'll be following closely, of course. At number 6, it's Fight League Atlantic, which are single-handedly saving MMA in Eastern Canada. MMA in the Maritimes has basically been dead for years. There were no promotions, no people looking to bring these fighters in, as they are kind of far away and expensive to bring to your show because of the travel. And Derek and his guys knew that there was a market for these Eastern Canadian MMA fighters, and they were putting on events for them. They were able to put on 4 events this year. Yes, there were maybe only 1 or 2 pro fights on each of these events, but the amateur competition on these cards was very high level, and you can see that now for 2023 there will be multiple pro fights on their events, as there are plenty of these fighters that are now ready to make the jump to the pro level. So seeing a guy like Derek being so dedicated into rebuilding this Eastern Canadian MMA scene, it is very inspiring. It's a thing that needed to be done, and even though they put on less professional fights than the other promotions on this list, I needed to acknowledge them and to reward them for the work that they've put in, as they've put on 4 events, but submission kumites too, the grappling tournaments, which are events too. They've been putting on these events too, and let's just not speak on all the hurdles that they had, all the forces working against them, commission problems. They even had to move a card because of a hurricane. When does hurricanes happen in Canada? But it did, and it did on the week of a Fight League Atlantic card. So all the forces were kind of working against them, and they were still able to have an amazing year. So I gotta acknowledge that. That's why I got them at number 6, Fight League Atlantic. At number 4, it is Prospect Fighting Championships. Like I said, only 1 card during the year, but the best card of the year according to me. And Prospect Fighting Championships was one of my favorite promotions before the COVID pandemic, and now they're back. They've put on an amazing event. They got the ball rolling again, and I can't wait to see what's next for them in the future. It's really a promotion that has the potential to move up these rankings next year pretty fast. As we go to number 4, BTC Fight Promotions, which I am very happy to put them at number 4, because they began the year pretty well. They presented 4 events, but there was a point where there was such uncertainty surrounding BTC, because I'm not gonna get into the thick of it, but let's just say like that, there was a major change at a major position in the promotion, and they had to scramble, and in the midst of that they had to postpone an event. They rebooked it. There was only 4 fights on the event, so for a little while here during the, let's say, the latter part of the year, there was some uncertainty regarding BTC, with even Prospects Championship coming back. Front Row, which was looking to do their 2nd event, which fell through unfortunately, but there was some uncertainty towards BTC, but they really came back strong with their final card of the year, with a Jesse Ronson fight, with some amazing prospects like Cody Jovancik, Kevin Bassier-Popovic, and Matthew Rusniak, Bilal Mutmayan, Matt Smith, and all these guys. So while there was some concerning moments for BTC this year, They were really able to ride the ship at the end of the year, and I'm really happy to now feel like BTC is in a solid place once again, because it's a promotion that I've been to, that I've seen a lots of fights from, and I've always enjoyed being there and the people that were working there. So I'm really happy to see that they're doing good in the end. That's why I got them at number 4. At number 3 is probably the fastest rise of all MMA promotions, Samourai MMA. They did their first ever event at the end of last year in November, and within 1 calendar year, they're already established, in my opinion, as one of the top 3 promotions in Canada. And that's because of the level of fighting that they've put on, of course, but also because of the level of production, which is very important. In my opinion, Prospect FC, Fight League Atlantic, and Samourai are the 3 best looking promotions in Canada when you look at the events. Yes, Unified has made some strides lately regarding production quality and like basically the lighting of their events. Sometimes they were just too dark, so the other times they were too lighted up. We could see basically people eating their meals on the first row tables, but like Unified BFL, they made some strides. But Samourai MMA, since the beginning, they just, of course, there was a high threshold to maintain in Quebec, because we've been used to TKO, who basically employed like some of the best producers, was one of the better looking promotions, not even in Canada, but in the world outside of the UFC, in my opinion. You could look at it at a TKO show, and it was as good looking as a Bellator event, or as a PFL event, or as a one championship event. So Samourai, when they came in, they had these expectations to meet for the public in Quebec, and they absolutely did. It cost them a lot of money to have all this production and everything, but they did. The event is great, the product looks good, the fights are great, and if you look at what they've got set for 2023, it's only gonna go up from there, because their first card of the year is gonna be absolutely stacked. But for now, for 2022, I got Samourai MMA at number 3. Which lead us to the top 2, and with very little surprise, at number 2, it is Battlefield Fight League, which was able to present 5 events this year, and 5 events that pretty much all delivered. It was a great year for them. The talent pool is pretty great and exciting out in Western Canada, and BFL has really been able to turn out these fights, these events, and to bring some talents to the higher level. It's the most established promotion in Canada, with 75 shows now, and they're not going anywhere, that's for sure. I got him at number 2 this year, and that's because at number 1, you probably guessed it as soon as I started this list, but it is Unified MMA, who presented 7 events this year. That's the most out of all promotions, so they were the busiest for sure. But not only they were the busiest, but they clearly put on the highest level fights in Canada. They started the year off with a bang with Unified 43, with the Campbell Propelek fight and Gavrilovich Bular fight, and they ended the year with a bang with 2 events in 2 days, including their Ontario debut with another amazing Shane Campbell fight, but also fights from all the Ontarian guys you want to see, like Scott Hudson, Ergus Segura, Tisha Gautreau, Pat Pitlick, and all the others. So to use the words of the great Conor McGregor, Unified this year, they were not here to take part, they were here to take over, and the takeover worked. They are by far the best MMA promotion in Canada right now. They stand at the top of the power rankings coming into 2023, and we can't wait to see what's next for their number 1 MMA promotion in Canada, Unified MMA. So that concludes our list of the best MMA promotions in Canada during 2022. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a like, consider subscribing for more content, and stay tuned for the next list coming your way very soon.